Greetings. We are the Pleiadian collective, transmitting this information through our channel. We wish to reinsert light on this planet, and restore Earth to its original purpose, that of becoming a magnificent intergalactic exchange center of information. So we have come back in a section of time to a place we call a kernel or a seed in order to effect change. This change will not only affect Earth, it will affect your future, our present, and the entire universe. This is big news. You have come to Earth at a place and time when evolution is at hand. A major leap is about to take place that you came to participate in, and you are not alone, for many energies are coming to Earth now, to participate in this great project. There are mother ships surrounding this planet that are acting as literal transducers of energy. There are beams of light coming to Earth from old and ancient star systems that have been working with you for eons. These beams of information are being blasted onto the planet. As this information is being beamed to you, your body must be able to receive it, transduce it, boost it, and beam it back out to others. Many of you will build telepathic links with these mother ships that will be like having your radio stations through which you will be able to tune into a wealth of information at will. This is the evolution of superconsciousness, the evolution into the highest aspect of your being. You do not need to worry about becoming this being, for you already are this being, and you just need to remember it. Since the veils around Earth were lifted at the time of harmonic convergence, you have been steadily beamed with this energy from the outer cosmos, and it is constantly being stepped up and increased as you are able to handle it. Our ancestors were some of the original planners of Earth. Orchestrators who seeded worlds and civilizations with creativity and love. Because of their qualifications, they like to orchestrate worlds just as conductors love to conduct. Our ancestors are also your ancestors, and we like to call you our ancient family, as indeed you are. Our ancestors gave their DNA to the original planners, and this DNA became part of the DNA of the human species. You have come here because you wish to master the evolutionary process and be able to live with it. This is going to be very exciting, because it means that you are going to function in many realities. Buried deep inside of you are all the answers. The questions that come to the forefronts of your minds are arising so that you can bring the answers from within your own beings. In order to achieve this, you must first believe that the information is stored there. Humanity is learning a great lesson at this time. The lesson is, of course, to realize your godhood, your connectedness with Prime Creator and with all that exists. The lesson is to realize that everything is connected and that you are part of it all. By working with you, it is our intention to offer you a reminder of who you are so that you can find the greatest source for your own inspiration. If we could assign a career to each of you or give you a way of being, we would ask each of you to become an inspiration. When you are able to live in this capacity and to be truly an inspiration to all who encounter you, you will be living your light, and that is quite profound. We are all here to evolve together and create a new vibrational frequency. We wish to break belief paradigms that separate individuals as they evolve. We wish to create an ambassadorship, a game of harmony and cooperation, by giving you information that strikes you at the core of your beings, no matter what your former beliefs have been. We wish you to be informed about what you are dealing with. Light is information, ignorance is darkness. We want you to be working in the light, not in the dark. We are here to assist, to teach, and to evolve as we go through this process together. This whole teaching is designed with a great purpose in mind, and the stories that we tell you are set up to take you to a higher plane of consciousness. That is our intention. In speaking to you, we wish you to expand your definition of reality. However, never take anything we say literally. Always follow the larger spiral that we are intending to create that allows you to see the bigger picture. Never stop where we define an idea, since we are simply here to open up your paradigms and rattle your cages so that you can begin to find the activation of the real knowledge, the true knowledge, that is stored inside of you. That is where the data is, and we have come to awaken it in you. You are coded, and as your memory begins to rise, you will respond to the plan with which you came here to participate to alter the frequencies. You will begin to hold, keep, and maintain a certain frequency and then to line it. Identity as frequency is the sum total of your physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual bodies broadcast as electronic pulsations. As you live your frequency, you affect everyone, every place you go. That is what you are doing now. There are many who already understand their assignment, and there are those whose memories are just beginning to rise. Your DNA will evolve from 2 helixes to 12 helixes. These 12 helixes correspond to energy centers, or chakras, inside and outside of your body. Millions of you on the planet at this time are on assignment, and you have agreed to carry the frequency to accomplish this. Handfuls of you are becoming impeccable, and these handfuls are affecting the others. Soon you will begin to have great clarity as to who you are and what your assignment is. The plan to change the frequency modulation affecting the human species entails the rebundling of your DNA and of the light-encoded filaments. The plan is gigantic at this time. Earth is assisting, in its own way, the evolution of the universe. Earth is where things are happening. It is the hot spot, the place to be. It is where the plan begins to blossom, and what happens on Earth is going to affect many, many worlds. You represent the renegade group of light, and you have agreed to come back on the planet. You are on assignment. You come into these physical bodies and take them over, and you intend, through the power of your spiritual identity, to change the physical body. You all selected with great care the genetic lines that would best give you head starts with all of this. Each of you chose a genetic history through which members of the family of light have threaded. When human beings existed in their rightful domain and could understand many realities, they had the ability to be multidimensional, to be one and equal with the gods. You are beginning to awaken this identity within yourself. The gods rated this reality. Just like corporate raiders in your time come in and take over a business because perhaps the pension funds are in great abundance, so the funds upon this planet were in great abundance at the time these raider gods appeared. In order to have you believe they were gods with a big G, they rearranged you genetically. The gods who did this are magnificent space creatures. They can do many kinds of manipulations and work with realities in many different ways. Humans, in ignorance, began to call these space creatures God with a big G. God with a big G has never visited this planet as an entity. God with a big G is in all things. You have only dealt with gods with a little g who have wanted to be adored and to confuse you, and who have thought of Earth as a principality, a place that they own out in the galactic fringes of this free will universe. All of the genetic information was scattered. It did not have an order, but it was left inside the cells. The only information that remained for you to play with and to keep you functioning was the double helix. Many of the databases along the double helix were shut down, closed, so that you began to function with very little data. You were very easy to manipulate and control by many aspects of consciousness passing themselves off as God with a big G. One of the most exciting aspects about being on Earth right now is that there is a reordering or a retooling taking place in your DNA. Cosmic rays are coming onto the planet so that a change is being broadcasted and a reordering is taking place inside the body. The scattered data that holds the history and awareness of the living library is now lining up. The DNA is evolving. New helixes or strands are being formed as the light-encoded filaments are beginning to bundle themselves together. The scattered data is being pulled together in your body by electromagnetic energies from Prime Creator. We are here to watch this process in you, to assist you, and to evolve ourselves as well. As this rebundling or reordering comes together, you will create a more evolved nervous system that will allow much more data to move itself into your consciousness. You will awaken many brain cells that have been lying dormant, and you will come into use of your full physical body rather than the small percentage that you have been functioning with. Every place on the planet is being affected by this change, this awareness. Those of you who are the guardians of light and who wish to completely change this present reality and bring different options in, are anchoring the frequency. If it is not anchored and understood, it can create chaos. This is why you must ground yourselves. The range of frequency modulation has now been shifted, and energies from the outside are working to alter the planet. These energies deed you. They cannot alter the planet from the outside, the planet must be altered from the inside. The energies simply bring in creative cosmic rays that penetrate your body and create the evolutionary leap inside your body. Once you understand the proper use of emotion and begin to get control over your own frequency, you will be able to broadcast these rays. Then, you will not feed the frequency of fear to this plane of existence. For those of you who have come to act out your plan and to work with the consciousness of light, your time is now. Your action springs from this moment. All you need to do is begin to allow this energy to come into your body. You must begin to vibrate with this energy and to clear the passages of the self, the emotional energies that hold themselves locked in your physical body. As you begin to examine the self, you will find that there are many selves in which to travel on the inner highways or inner nervous system of consciousness. You hold the history of the universe within your physical body. What is occurring upon the planet now is the literal mutation of your physical body, for you are allowing it to be evolved to a point where it will be a computer that can house this information. Those who have opened themselves to light are literally having their bodies rearranged. Sometimes you may wake up at night and literally feel the rearrangement. This rearrangement of the body is the restructuring of the DNA. Your DNA is a filament. A scientist would describe it as a connective filament. Scientists, doing the best they can, up to this point, have found certain coatings within certain portions of the DNA. They have also found superfluous portions of the DNA. In other words, there are portions that they cannot translate or figure out, so they think these portions of the DNA are just there for the ride, and they call them junk DNA. What the scientists call junk DNA has been dormant in your body for a long time, and it is now becoming activated. In our teachings, we always emphasize the importance of oxygenation, because oxygen feeds the coding and awakens the junk DNA in your body, which certainly isn't junk at all. As we related the story to you, the rating creator gods who came in and took over needed to have you operate in a certain way in order to control you. They needed to unplug your intelligence, and so they did, by scattering and disconnecting the light-encoded filaments that form the helixes in your DNA. These filaments are now beginning to reconnect into helixes. The helixes will evolve in sets of 3 until there are 12 strands, or helixes. When these 12 helixes or strands of many light-encoded filaments begin to vibrate within the body, each of the strands will correspond to a chakra center. As the helixes come into full force in a person, there is an awakening of the person's inner knowledge, knowledge that goes beyond what the person has been taught. This inner knowledge is knowledge of self, knowledge that says there is much more than this physical world. The physical world is a clue to the spiritual world. The world of spirit and self-evolution is on the verge of an information explosion. All of this is related to the evolving light-encoded filaments, which are millions and billions of tiny little fibers. Those of you who understand the higher realms have many times felt very alone here upon the planet. There are millions like you here at this time, forming a tremendous support group. You are beginning to meet and find one another, and you are beginning to thread your consciousness one fine silk strand with other strands of consciousness. You will see a most beautiful creation come together without great effort because it is part of a plan and you are moved to do certain things. The whole planet has been controlled in such a way that you have been taught and trained from the time you first arrived here that you are not in control of your own reality. You have been taught that everything is circumstantial and that everything depends on something you have no say in. This is wrong. You are the one who controls your DNA. You have complete control over everything. Until you discover that and believe it, you are subjected to whatever anyone else wishes to do to you in this free will zone. And, in your innocence, you have been exposed to things that have allowed your DNA, your intelligence, and many other things to be controlled. It is time for you to move through the challenges and unlock the history that is inside of your body by allowing the light-encoded filaments to rebundle, forming new helixes, and by allowing yourself to be receptive to what this new information in the DNA is going to plug into you. It will not always make sense to your logical mind. You will learn that your logical mind has a place, a function, and a purpose, but that it is not your identity. The logical mind is overused by many people. It is overtaxed and abused, and when you overuse and abuse the logical mind, you create stress upon your body. You do not always need to understand logically what you are experiencing. Watch yourself, maintain humor at all times, and maintain the idea that you are evolving. We hope this transmission was of service to you. We are the Pleiadian Collective. It was a pleasure sharing this message with you.